Hello friends, welcome to Kalyani IAS Academy. Today we will study importance of agriculture in Indian economy, then features of Indian agriculture. At last we will study the challenges of Indian agriculture. So let's start the topic with importance of agriculture in Indian economy, right? See, India is an agricultural country and half of the population of India is directly dependent on agriculture for livelihood and employment. Also, agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. It is also a cornerstone for industrial sector and tertiary sector. To summarize the importance of agriculture, we can quote Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru here. According to him, there is a need to give highest priority to agriculture, because if agriculture fails, then both the nation and government will fail. Now we will study the importance of agriculture point to point. The first point is that contribution to the national income, right? The agriculture plays an important role to contribute to national income, and in 1950 to 51, at the time of independence, the share of agriculture in GDP was 55.4%. After that, the share of agriculture in national income decreased, right? You need to notice here that the share of secondary sector, means we can say that the share of industrial sector and the share of service sector increase. Therefore, the share of agriculture decrease in the GDP or national income, right? So the share of agriculture in the GDP is decreasing, and in 1991 the share was 38%, in 2017-18 it was 18%, and in 1920 in gross value added the share of agriculture was 17.8%. So in this way we can say that agriculture plays an important role in the national income, right? Second, source of employment, right? See, agriculture provides huge employment in private sector. At the time of independence, 70% population of India was engaged in agriculture, right? But after that, the share of population decreased. In 2001, the 59% of India were engaged in agriculture sector. Then in 2010-11 it was 15%, and in 2015-16 the 49% working population of India were engaged in agricultural activities, right? And at time we can also quote here the ILO statistics. According to ILO, in 2020 42% of India were employed in agriculture or were engaged in agricultural activities. So here we can say that agriculture is the highest provider of employment in private sector. So in private sector, agriculture provides the highest number of employment in India, right? Third thing is that food supply, right? So to live a life we require a food, and here you need to notice that before Green Revolution India didn't have enough food grains to feed its population, but after the Green Revolution we have maximum food grains to feed our population, right? And India became self-reliant in the field of food supply or food production after the Green Revolution. So we can say that after 1965 we are independent and we are able to feed our whole population, right? And also you need to know here that from independence till 2011-12 the population of India increased 3 times, but here food production increased 5 times and milk production increased 7 times. Therefore, now at this time we are independent in the field of food production or food supply, right? And according to Ministry of Agriculture, the total food grain production in 2017-18 was 285 metric ton, right? Next, raw material for the industries. Here you need to know the agriculture provides raw material to various industries. For an example, that it is the agriculture provides cotton for textile industry, sugarcane for sugar industry, and soybean, sarson, right, for edible oil, and milk for dairy products. So these are the conventional industries, right? It also provides raw material for handloom industries, right, weaving industry, oil extraction, and many micro, small and medium industries, right? Also, you need to know here, in future the food processing industry is developing and will develop very fast in future, and we require a raw material for food processing industry also. So our agriculture will provide raw material for food processing industries, and if food processing industries of India will develop in course of time, then definitely it will be good for our economy also, because if we export food grains for the other countries, then we cannot add our productivity in that. But if the food grains are processed, right, like we can say that here soybean, right, so here soybean can be converted into soya milk, soya chunks, right, soya paneer, and in this we can increase the productivity also, and we can provide employment to huge population. So in food processing industries there is a huge scope of agricultural to be improved, right? And according to economist Rangarajan, who was the former governor of RBI, if 1% change is occurred in agriculture, then the industrial production also changes to 0.5 percentage, right? So here we can say that it is the cornerstone for the industries, right? Next point, poverty alleviation and inclusive development, right? As you know that according to 2011 census, 68.8% population of India lives in rural sector, and there they are directly or indirectly depend on agricultural activities for their livelihood. And if the growth rate of agriculture increases, then definitely the poverty will decrease and inclusive development will take place, right? For an example, here we can take the two examples here, right? One from India. In Haryana, agriculture in Haryana contributes to 45% GDP of the Haryana. Therefore, there is a less poverty in Haryana. Means we can say that the share of agricultural activities is 45% in Haryana. Therefore, there is a low poverty in Haryana. And the second example is of China, right? Poverty in China decreased from 37 to 17% in 1978 to 84 because the increase in agriculture. So it can be easily said that if the growth rate of agriculture increases, then the poverty will decrease and inclusive development will also take place, right? Next point, agriculture contributes to exports also, right? According to WTO, the India's contribution to agricultural products in world export is 2.27% in 2012. You need to mention here, before the Green Revolution, India had to import food grains from other countries. Means we did not have adequate food grains to feed our population. That's why we had to import from foreign countries. But now this time India is independent and India exports food grains to other countries, and the share on the agricultural product is 2.27% in 2012, right? Seventh point is that contribution in capital formation, right? Here if the income of farmers increases, then definitely the capital formation will also improve, and if capital formation will improve, then definitely it can be invested in agricultural activities, industrial activities and tertiary activities, and hence the economy of India will also improve, right? Next, increase in treasury by export of food grains, right? When we export our food grains to other countries and we get the foreign money which can be used to import many other or most required things, right? So in this way we can say that Indian economy is the most important sector for our Indian economy, right? Also we can say that the industrial sector and service sector are also affected by the increase or decrease in the growth rate of agriculture. On one hand, Indian agriculture provides food, right? Food grains to the population of India, and in the second hand, it also provides the huge employment in the private sector, right? So on the one hand, we get food grains from the agriculture and a huge employment in private sector from the agriculture. So this was the importance of agriculture in Indian economy. Here are some model questions, right? So some questions can be asked on this topic in the examination, like 3-marker question can be asked, importance of agriculture in national income. So you can quote here the share of agriculture in the GDP or national income in India. Second, contribution of agriculture to exports, right? Third thing, so both the questions are easy, you can write your own answer, right? Second, 5-marker question can be asked, to which industries does the agriculture provide raw material, right? Second question, 11 markers, how Indian economy depend on agriculture, and second, throw light on the importance of agriculture in the Indian economy, right? So remember, whenever a 11-marker question is asked in the examination, then you need to write first intro, right? Then you need to write in many dimensions, like in this question we can bifurcate many points, and at last you need to write conclusion, right? So this was the importance of agriculture in Indian economy. Now we will study the second topic, which is characteristics or features of Indian agriculture. So we will study the characteristics or features of Indian agriculture, right? So here there are many features in Indian agriculture. We will study one by one. First thing is that agriculture is the means of livelihood for the half of the population of the country. According to 2011 census, 48.5% population of India is engaged in agricultural. So it is the means of livelihood for the half of the population of India, right? Second, Indian agriculture is depend on monsoon, right? And therefore it is said that Bharatiya Krishi monsoon ka जुआ है, because the maximum areas of India are rain fed, right? Which means that when rain will occur, then the farmers can sow the food crops, right? So it is the depends on monsoon. Third thing is that low productivity, and the reason for this is that here in India the conventional agricultural, second, lack of capital or lack of investment, and because of this there is low productivity in Indian agricultural. Fourth, inadequate irrigation, right? Most of the regions of India are rain fed, and most of the farmers of India depend on rain to the irrigate their crops. Therefore there is a lack of irrigation process and lack of irrigation methods in India. Also there is a lack of irrigation activities, right? And fifth point is here, small land holdings. In India 86.2% land holdings are 2 hectares. You need to remember, when population increases, then the land area is divided to the heirs, right? Therefore the land holdings is decreasing day by day, and if the land holdings is decreasing, it will result in low production. Why? See here, यदि एक किसान के पास में 10 एकड़ का एक खेत है, and if another farmer has 2 acres 5 land area, then definitely he cannot invest like mechanization. अगर उसे यहाँ पर फेंसिंग करवानी है, ट्यूबवेल खुदवाना है या ट्रैक्टर लेना, अगर उसकी सभी की जो जितनी भी 10 एकड़ ज़मीन है वो एक जगह होगी, तो वो उस खेत में ट्यूबवेल भी लगवा सकता है, वहाँ पर कोल्ड स्टोरेज बनवा सकता है, राइट? कोल्ड स्टोरेज और जो मशीनीकरण है उसको वो बढ़ावा दे सकता है। परंतु जब लैंड होल्डिंग्स छोटी होती हैं तो वहाँ पर इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है वो कम होता जाता है और जो मैकेनाइजेशन है वो भी कम होता है। और अगर आप ध्यान रखें, अगर मशीनीकरण कम होगा तो उससे प्रोडक्टिविटी भी क्या होगी? कम होगी। तो स्मॉल लैंड होल्डिंग्स इज द आल्सो फीचर ऑफ इंडियन इकोनॉमी, राइट? Next, seasonal and disguised unemployment. Here I already told you that agriculture provides highest employment to the people of India. But here we can see the seasonal unemployment means किसी एक मौसम में तो लोगों को रोजगार मिलता है, जब क्रॉप तैयार हो जाती उस समय पे रोजगार मिलता है, बट बाकी के समय पे जो नागरिक हैं या जो श्रमिक हैं वो बेरोजगार हो जाते। वैसे ही डिस्गाइज्ड एम्प्लॉयमेंट्स मींस वी कैन से दैट यहाँ पर कृषि की जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है वो उतनी ही रहती है। जैसे 5 एकड़ का कोई लैंड एरिया, ये लैंड होल्डिंग है, इसमें चाहे 10 व्यक्ति मिलकर खेती करें या एक अकेला व्यक्ति खेती करे, उसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या रहेगी? उतनी ही रहेगी। और भारतीय जो है ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में जितने भी मेंबर्स ऑफ फैमिली होते हैं, दे एंगेज देमसेल्फ इन द एग्रीकल्चर एंड द प्रोडक्टिविटी will constant. Therefore we can see the seasonal and disguised unemployment in the agricultural field in India. Next, subsistence agricultural, right? And not for profit, or we can say that lack of commercial crops. Here you need to understand that in most parts of the India, the farmers engaged in conventional, we can say that food crops, right? So in simple words we can say that भारत के अधिकांश क्षेत्रों में गेहूं है और उसके बाद में चावल है, ये फसलें ज़्यादा मात्रा में उगाई जाती हैं, which are labor incentive and water incentive also. But in India like coffee, tea, rubber, right? These coconut, these crops are not available, not sown in India, and therefore these are the commercial crops and which will definitely improve our economy and the income of the farmers. So here the subsistence agricultural means भारत में जीवन निर्वाह के लिए खेती की जाती है। जितनी भी जो लैंड होल्डिंग्स होती है उसमें फार्मर केवल अपने जीवन यापन के लिए जो फूड क्रॉप्स होती हैं उनको ही उगाता है, जिससे केवल और केवल वो अपना पेट भरने के लिए तो उगाता है, बाकी उसकी कोई इनकम नहीं होती है। इसके साथ ही जो कमर्शियल एग्रीकल्चरल है उसका भी यहाँ पर अब्सेंस होता है या उसमें भी कमी है, राइट? इसके साथ ही प्रीडोमिनेंस ऑफ फूड क्रॉप्स लाइक 66% as I already told you that in most of the parts of India food crops are sown and produced, right? And commercial crops produced only 34%. And if we have to improve, if we have to increase the income of farmers, then we have to increase the commercial croppings and we have to decrease the food crops, right? Next, labor intensive agricultural, no use of modern machinery. Here conventional agricultural is the feature of Indian economy and labor intensive. जितने भी परिवार के सदस्य होते हैं वो सभी खेती में क्या होते हैं, इंगेज होते हैं, मतलब श्रम प्रधान कृषि है। भारत में मशीनों का प्रयोग बहुत कम होता है, उसके भी कई कारण हैं, जैसे लैक ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट हो जाएगा, लैक ऑफ कैपिटल, लैक ऑफ फाइनेंस हो जाएगा। देयरफॉर दे हैड टू इंगेज इन द एग्रीकल्चर। तो जो लेबर इंटेंसिव एग्रीकल्चर है ये भी एक फीचर हो जाएगा। नेक्स्ट हो जाएगा कन्वेंशनल एंड फॉल्टी एग्रीकल्चर। हियर कन्वेंशनल मीन्स परंपरागत तरीके से, जो प्राचीन समय से जो भी फसलें उगाई जा रही हैं, दीज क्रॉप्स विल बी प्रोड्यूस्ड इन फ्यूचर। द फार्मर डज नॉट प्रोड्यूस न्यू वेराइटीज क्रॉप्स, राइट? जो भी बीज उनके पास में उपलब्ध होता है और वो कई समय से मतलब उसकी बुआई करते आ रहे हैं, उनका इस्तेमाल करते हैं, राइट? और कई फॉल्टी जो एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस होती हैं, राइट? जब जो क्लाइमेट होती है, क्लाइमेट के आधार फसलों को नहीं बोया जाता है, कहीं पर पानी की कमी होती है, फिर भी वहाँ पर वाटर इंटेंसिव जो क्रॉप्स हैं वो बोई जाती हैं, राइट? नेक्स्ट हो जाएगा सोइल इरोजन एंड सोइल डिग्रेडेशन। यहाँ पर जो मृदा का निम्नीकरण है या डिग्रेडेशन है वो माइनिंग की वजह से या फिर पास्चर लैंड की वजह से जो है भूमि डिग्रेड हो जाती है और उसकी जो उर्वरक शक्ति है, प्रोडक्टिविटी, वो कम हो जाती है। आल्सो बिकॉज ऑफ रेन और इरिगेशन सॉइल एरोजन टेक प्लेस, राइट? नेक्स्ट, absence of modern agricultural inputs. If we compare Indian agriculture to the world agriculture, then in European countries many heavy machines are used to harvest, and to seed, right? But in India जो जितने भी बड़े बड़े और प्रमुख साधन होते हैं, मशीनें होती हैं, जैसे लैंड लेवलर्स हो जाएगा, हार्वेस्टर हो जाएगा, इनका प्रयोग नहीं किया जाता है, राइट? नेक्स्ट, लैंडलॉर्ड एंड टीनेंट स्ट्रगल इन इंडिया। जैसे ये कोई खेत हो जाएगा, इसका लैंडलॉर्ड इसकी खेती नहीं करता, ये किसी तीसरे व्यक्ति को एज अ रेंट पर इसको दे देगा, जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, टीनेंट फार्मर बोलते हैं, राइट? और इसमें समस्या क्या होती है कि टीनेंट फार्मर वो 1 साल को इस भूमि को किराए पर लेता है, तो ही हैज़ अ प्रॉफिट मोटिव एंड ही फोकसेस हाउ मच प्रॉफिट, हाउ टू गेट हाउ मच या मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट, और इसको भी केवल किससे मतलब होता है, पैसे से मतलब होता है। एंड दे बोथ ऑफ देम डिड नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन द फील्ड और इन द लैंड एरिया, इसीलिए भूमि का भी यहाँ पर निम्नीकरण होता है और उत्पादकता में भी कमी होती है। तो यहाँ पर द स्ट्रगल बिटवीन लैंडलॉर्ड एंड टीनेंट इज आल्सो द फीचर ऑफ इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर, राइट? एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीज इन द पॉपुलेशन, subdivision of the farms, or we can say that land holdings is taking place. जितनी ज़्यादा हेयर्स होंगे, जो लैंड है वो फ्रेगमेंट होती चली जाएगी, और जो बड़ा लैंड होल्डिंग है वो जितने भी हेयर हैं उतने क्या होगा, डिवाइड हो जाएगा, और जो लैंड होल्डिंग्स है वो कम होती चली जाएगी। और लैंड होल्डिंग्स अगर कम होगी तो जाहिर सी बात है वहाँ पर उत्पादकता भी कम होगी। सो दीज वर द फीचर्स or characteristics of Indian agriculture, right? Now we will see challenges before Indian agriculture. Here there are many challenges. We will take one by one, we will understand, then we will move ahead. The first thing is that stagnant agricultural income. Why? Because there is the stagnant agricultural productivity, right? Productivity, and because of the stagnant productivity the agricultural income is also stagnant. And here we can say that 2 or 3 reasons. First thing is that in India conventional agriculture is performed. Second thing is that lack of capital and lack of mechanization, therefore the productivity जो है वो स्थिर है, और उसी वजह से जो इनकम है वो भी क्या है, स्थिर है। और आपको पता ही है कि द मोदी गवर्नमेंट वांट्स टू डबल द फार्मर्स ऑफ इनकम टिल 2022 एंड 23 एंड फॉर दैट हमें जो है उन्नत बीजों का प्रयोग करना पड़ेगा, हाई यील्ड वैरायटी सीड्स, मैकेनाइजेशन एंड कैपिटल विल बी यूज्ड. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट चैलेंज, स्टैग्नेंट एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम, राइट. सेकेंड, lack of agricultural management system, local, right. Here see, when we make a policy for agriculture and when the policy is made on a country level या all India level, then this will not benefit for every region, because there are many climatic regions in India, and in every climatic regions different types of crops should be produced. But यदि अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में जो जलवायु क्षेत्र हैं उनमें हम अलग अलग फसलों के लिए अलग अलग नीति नहीं बनाएंगे तो जाहिर सी बात है उससे productivity will not improve. Therefore in India, according to the climatic region and according to the monsoon season, climatic region, and the according to soil, the Indian government should make a new policy. Therefore we should focus on local agricultural management system, and which is absent in Indian agricultural. Therefore it is a challenge for Indian government or for us, right. Third thing is that the growing threat of climate change, right. Indian agriculture or agriculture is directly depend on rain and monsoon, and if the climate changes, the occurrence of cyclone and heavy rains occur, then definitely it will devastate our agriculture. Therefore the climate change is also challenge for Indian agriculture. Fourth, continuous reduction in the size of agricultural land holding. I already told you, because of the increase in population, the land holding also divided in here. Therefore the land holdings will become smaller and smaller, और जितनी छोटी लैंड होल्डिंग होगी उसमें इन्वेस्ट करना, उसमें मशीनों का प्रयोग करना उतना ही कठिन होगा, और अगर मशीनों का प्रयोग नहीं होगा तो उत्पादकता भी नहीं बढ़ेगी. Therefore continue decline in the size of agricultural land holdings is also problem in Indian agriculture. Fifth, negative impact of liberalization and globalization. See, in foreign countries many heavy machines are used in agriculture, but when these machine fertilizers or pesticides we use in India, then definitely they will not provide a good benefit, because see, agriculture depends on climate and soil, राइट. जो कृषि है वो क्लाइमेट पर, मिट्टी पर, यहाँ पर जो पाई जाने वाली पबने हैं उन पर जो है एग्रीकल्चर निर्भर करती है. इसीलिए अगर फॉरेन कंट्रीज़ की जो हैवी मशीन है, वहाँ के जो फर्टिलाइजर्स हैं, वहाँ के जो पेस्टिसाइड्स हैं, उन पर हम बगैर R&D का अगर हम उनको इंडिया में इस्तेमाल करेंगे तो हो सकता है कि वो हमें फ़ायदा ना दें, बल्कि हमें उनसे नुकसान भी होना पड़े. देयरफॉर अगर हम लिबरलाइजेशन के तौर पर, उदारीकरण की वजह से अगर हम अंधाधुंध विदेशी पेस्टिसाइड्स का या मशीनों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो इससे हमारी उत्पादकता कम होगी और जो निवेश है वो व्यर्थ चला जाएगा. देयरफॉर देयर इज अ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट ऑन इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर. सेकेंड, डिक्लाइन इन एग्रीगेट आउटपुट. एग्रीकल्चर से जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है वो कांस्टेंट है, और कई दफ़ा जो है प्राकृतिक समस्याओं की वजह से जो नेचुरल कैलामिटीज़ होती हैं उनकी वजह से भी जो है जो एग्रीगेट आउटपुट होता है वो कम हो जाता है, राइट. नेक्स्ट, बैड इफेक्ट ऑन सॉइल हेल्थ ड्यू टू सैलिनिटी, राइट. हमारे देश में subsidized electricity is available, subsidized urea is available, and when a farmer have subsidized urea and electricity and he uses more than required in the field, then definitely it will create a salinity problem. ठीक है. मुफ्त बिजली की वजह से पानी भी जो है वो ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा और यूरिया का भी जब ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, कई खाद्य उर्वरकों का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, दैट लीड्स टू सैलिनिटी, राइट। नेक्स्ट, इंश्योरिंग प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द एनवायरनमेंट। वर्तमान समय में जो है हमें एनवायरनमेंट को भी बचाना है, और जो कृषि में जो जितनी भी गतिविधियां लाइक स्टबल बर्निंग, यू हियर दैट इन द मंथ ऑफ नवंबर एंड दिसंबर जो है स्टबल बर्निंग, या जो एक तरीके से जो पराली जलाई जाती है पंजाब एवं हरियाणा में, उसकी वजह से दिल्ली में जो है वो पॉल्यूशन की या वायु प्रदूषण की समस्या भी बढ़ती चली जा रही है, राइट। नेक्स्ट, इंडेप्टनेस, राइट। द फार्मर्स ऑफ इंडिया डज नॉट हैव enough amount of money to invest in agriculture, therefore they take loan from the informal sector, or we can say that they take money from the mediators, or we can say bicholiya jamidar, and they take the loan at very high level, और वो उसको चुकाने में भी क्या होते हैं, असमर्थ होते हैं, इसलिए हमारे देश में जो है इंडेप्टनेस की प्रॉब्लम भी बढ़ती चली जा रही है। देन फाइनेंस क्राइसिस, एंड एट लास्ट वाटर लॉगिंग एंड ओवर इरिगेशन। तो जो वाटर लॉगिंग है एंड ओवर इरिगेशन है, दैट लेड्स टू लैंड डिग्रेडेशन, राइट। सो दीज वर द challenges of Indian agriculture, right? So in the next lecture, here you need to remember that on the basis of challenges and features, both the questions can be asked in 5 markers or 10 markers, therefore you need to remember every dimensions which I have taught you today. So these were the topics, and in the next lecture we will meet with the new topic. Till then, thank you.